Okay, moving along, we have a public hearing for all-night parking. Terry.
Okay. It's not exactly all-night parking. The village code provides, if I can find the thing, it provides that cars are supposed to be off the road when snow is predicted, and it had a time limitation, so that's been removed. So the amendment provides that parking is prohibited whenever snow is accumulating and if snowfall has been forecast. So it was really just a deletion of the limitation of the hours.
Okay, do I have anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Okay, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried. Our next public hearing is limitless taxi for a taxi cab license. It's not actually a taxi cab license, but it was more of a dispatcher for the taxi services that already exist in the Village of Suffern. Terry?
Yes, as the mayor said, the applicant is not actually proposing to operate a taxi company itself, but to call taxis that are licensed. They have to be licensed in the village for her to do so. In addition to the application, we have a letter dated August 20th. It was actually written to me, and she has some of the particulars that basically substantiates what was just said. The chief has also provided a report with respect to some violations that the applicant has had.
Is the applicant here? Yes. Would you like to speak? Come up to the microphone.
I just wanted to do a base because I noticed there's a lot of cabs that are coming in from Spring Valley. And so we have 3 cabs here in this community, and they all have their own individual numbers. All I propose to do is basically have it all centralized and give them the fares. And I think this would limit, because when people call for a taxi service, there is no base in Suffern, and unless you have the numbers for those particular taxi cabs, if you don't know the numbers, they're not coming up on Google, if you don't know the numbers, you're not going to call them. So I think a base is just something that is, it makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. If you're going to be dispatching, say, ABC taxi, what's in it for you? In other words,
It would be a weekly fee.
weekly fee
Right.
from the companies.
Right.
I
Each
see. Have you
taxi-
talked to them?
I'm sorry?
You've talked to them?
I have, and they have basically said, if you get approval, then we'll go with it.
Okay.
But they understand they have to be approved by the Village of Suffern
Yes.
to be a
Yeah.
taxi
Yes.
carrier in the
Yes.
village?
There wouldn't be a requirement, though, I assume, or would there be, if we adopted this request, that taxi owners would have to subscribe to her service?
No.
It would just be something we would permit to
would
take
choose.
place, is that
That
right?
would be correct. And we only have 2 taxi cab services that are allowed to come to the village at this point in time.
Is it 2?
3. I was told 2. Who's the third one?
Jamal?
There's Gamma Brothers, and there's 3 of them.
I'm only aware of 2.
No, there's,
Okay. Virginia says there's 3, I believe her.
because I've seen a lot of cabs from Spring Valley.
Right,
A lot
that's
of
something
them.
that, the police department is taking up and
Right.
working on. But I think what more concerns me is that, we need to do a background check on all of this. And you've had some charges against you with regard to driving.
Right,
and
I
motor
wouldn't be
vehicles.
driving, I would just be dispatching. I have no desire to drive a cab. I have a business here in Suffern, I have a beauty shop business.
Yeah, I understand that, but there's certain, things that, there's ordinances here in the village that need to be followed.
Okay.
And that concerns me. I would have preferred for myself that we had a clean record with no, breaking the law on several occasions here, that concerns me. I have to be honest with
With
you.
licenses,
especially-
you mean with parking tickets and?
No.
With a suspension?
Driving with a suspended registration, driving with a suspended license, driving with a suspended license, and again, driving with a suspended registration and a suspended driver's license again. That concerns me, I have to be honest with you. That's just not good judgment as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know if the board has any other comments?
The other question I'd have is, setting that aside for the moment, what criteria would you propose to use to select the taxi companies that you would, in other words, somebody would call you, there's potentially three companies to choose from that are licensed. What kind of system would you propose to have in place that there's a fair distribution of those calls? I would assume you go in order and choose one, but making sure it's not misused, in other words, that you're sending to your friend versus someone else.
Well, everything would be logged. Everything would have to be logged, and everybody would have to have an opportunity to be able to pick up a fare.
Okay.
And logbooks would be open to whoever wanted to look at them. And of course, they would have to be in compliance with the permits and the licenses.
I have another question for you. Have you spoken to the taxi cab companies that come into the village? Are they in favor of this? Are they amenable to it? Have you touched base with them at all?
With the ones that are coming from Spring Valley?
No, the ones that are allowed to come into the Village of Suffern. Have you contacted them?
I have contacted two of them.
And have they told you, in fact, that they are in favor of you doing this dispatching
I
service?
say they're under the assumption that it will be more business.
So you're telling me that they verbally told you that they are in
It would be
favor?
more business. If it would be more business, they would be in favor of it.
No, I'm asking you, when you explain to them what you're trying to accomplish, they said to you, oh, that's great, we're very happy about that?
Not in so many words, no. They just said, well, if you get the approval, it would be more business. That's all they said.
Okay.
They didn't
So
say
they
we
did
were
not
very
say
happy
whether they
about
were
it,
in
no.
favor of this or not in favor of this?
Yeah, but they evidently said that they'd be willing to pay the fee.
Right, that's what I'm
And
saying.
if the fee didn't work out, they'd stop paying the fee, right?
Exactly.
So they would be paying, let me get this, the taxi cab company would be paying you directly per fare?
No.
The person would have to pay you a fee. I'm not exactly sure how this is working. How are you paid? How is your fee being paid to you for dispatching these cab fares?
Right.
How is it benefiting you?
What happens is that the calls come in, and then everyone gets a fare. They pay because they are being given a fare, and it would just be maybe 20 in the beginning, maybe 30, 40, and it would go up. As it goes up, you know what I mean? If it went up,
But who is paying that fee? Is the
it
carrier?
would be the taxi driver
The taxi driver is going to pay you a fee
for giving them calls
Okay.
or giving them potential customers.
So what is that fee being passed on to the person who is actually getting the cab? In other words, are they getting a higher fare to cover that expense of you dispatching?
Each individual taxi is an independent taxi, and there's a certain
So the
set,
taxi,
right, there's a certain set fare. They should not go up on that fare. And
Okay, they should not, but I'm asking you, if in fact a call comes into your dispatch center, you call the cab company and ask them to
Pick up the fare over in Lafayette Theater.
Okay, and you're telling me that the taxi cab company
Would pay probably about $50 a week.
in total? So you're going to end up making $100 a week to do this dispatching?
Right.
Is there a fee, I'm sorry, is there a fee structure that you've established?
I'm sorry?
A fee structure, have you set down a fee
I
structure?
haven't, but I'm giving an example. It would
Okay.
be 50, it could be 60. Sometimes they charge, for a legitimate base, they charge 110 per week. But it's a base where
But
they...
we're not, okay, but you need to understand, we're not looking to bring in 10 10 taxi cab companies into the Village of Suffern. We're just not that big. That's why we only have 3 at the
But
moment.
you do have many from Spring Valley that are already coming in.
Right, but you can't dispatch them into our village.
Right.
No,
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people are calling Spring Valley bases.
Right.
In order
And if they're caught in the village, they'll be dealt with
we have our
accordingly.
own, we have 3.
Right.
And all I would be doing is giving them fares. Because it would be on Google, and they would be able to Google Suffern base.
Okay, but you don't have any numbers as to, or any agreement with any of these taxi companies as of right now?
No, I have no written agreement, no.
Nothing?
No.
You have nothing from them at all to say that they're willing to participate in this
I
or not
thought that maybe
participate?
1 or 2 would come tonight, but nobody came.
Terry, what would we be issuing to her in terms of a license?
Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the testimony tonight and then compare what is being proposed with the provisions of the village code and then see what the
Where it
exact
falls, yeah.
application is, yeah.
I think it might be helpful if you did put together maybe I see you've submitted a couple of letters
Right.
already, but if there might be another clarification you can give to the board in writing as to what you're proposing as far as a fee structure is concerned.
The fee?
Yeah, I think, I'm not that familiar frankly with how they're regulated now in terms, does the village set the maximum rate taxi cabs can charge within the
Oh,
village,
yeah,
right?
taxi cabs.
within the village.
So potentially, we'd have the ability to do that maybe in this application as well. Set some type of standard in terms of what she can charge for her services.
I think we, like I said, I think we have to see how this fits
Yeah.
with the actual code provision. The concern is, of course, that, as the mayor was questioning, we do have a maximum rate here, so that if this impacts that, then
Right.
there's a problem.
Right. Personally, I just think it might be helpful if you did set in writing, like you did already on the other explanations you gave, what your proposed fee structure would be, how that would all work. I just think that would be helpful to us.
Also, what would be helpful if you know somebody else who's doing this, someone in Nyack or any place else who's doing this. I mean, you didn't invent this, I assume.
Right.
So if you know someone else who's
No, I've never
doing
done
it-
anything like this. I just thought it would be helpful to Suffern because I
it's
saw a lot of taxis
entrepreneurial.
It
from
could very well be.
Spring Valley.
And it could very well be, it's just a little more information I
And
think
some
might
letters
be.
of support from the taxi cab companies would be very, very helpful,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Because you want to adjourn it to the next meeting?
Trish, did I leave you by accident? Fred had leave. I think I put his paperwork.
Yes.
He asked if you...
This is a public hearing as to her application. Yeah.
We can't see Virginia. Virginia, we can't see you. We can't see you.
I'm looking at this on a financial thing. We have 2 or possibly 3 licensed taxi drivers in the village. Why would they be willing to pay anybody $50 a month when they're the only 3 that are supposedly allowed to accept calls? I don't see how she could increase their business, and I'm sure if their business didn't increase, they'd be coming before this board saying, why are we paying a fee when we're the only 3 that are allowed to get calls? And as far as the cabs that come in from Spring Valley, after the workshop, I spoke to Clerk. I don't see any reason why the village can't. When you collect the fee, you give the 3 cab drivers and their cabs a decal in the back of their car so that the cops see cars running in and out of the village, they can pull them over.
That's exactly...
We're working on it,
that's
yeah.
exactly what we're working on, Jim.
Yeah,
It's
I
something
mean,
that we're working on right
It's so
now.
easy to police.
Yes, and that's what we're working on right now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I think many years ago, there was another enforcement, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but an attempt at more strict enforcement of, especially the hailing of cabs, which you'll see every once in a blue moon. We
Hailing.
don't have hailed cabs here, obviously, and stuff, and they have to be called.
Right.
But I remember going back probably 10 years ago, where there was, a rash of enforcement, and
Yes.
a lot of people were brought in on code violations because of operating cabs without a license, so.
And that is exactly what we're working on right now. The chief of police and I are formulating some kind of safety net, if you will call it, to better, like Jim said, some kind of placard of some sort, so that it's visual, quick visual. Because some of these taxi cab companies, until they're far gone past you, you can't even see the writing on them. So, would anybody else like to speak? Okay, I need a motion to close the public hearing. I'm sorry. Motion to continue the public hearing, correct?
Motion to continue the public hearing.
Okay.
Second.
We're going to continue it on October 8th. What is the meeting? 8th?
October 6th.
October 6th, 7:40?
Yes, 7:40, at 7:40.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, so we'll be holding over the public hearing. We'll hear it again at the next village board meeting, so it'll give you that time to bring all your information, get it into the board, so we'll have to look at it, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, fire department. No one's here from the fire department.
They
They're
gave up.
At a fire.
Yeah, they're at a 5.
Culture and recreation.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Village Board. I handed you up your agenda in the essence of time, because I know we've been here a while this evening. A few things that are coming up this Thursday, September 11th, we have a 9/11 ceremony. It will be the candlelight vigil at the Donna Howard Park on Mount Irving Drive at 7 p.m. We have a high tour fundraiser that we're going to be hosting at the Community Center Friday, September 12th, from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Community Center. I have an addition to what I added, that I'd like to add to the upcoming events. On Saturday, this Saturday, there will be a September 13th, a ribbon cutting of 3 village stores that are new to the village. Four. We're going to have four.
We just don't have our numbers together tonight.
Sorry.
Up one, down one, just go around.
So Friday, starting at 10 a.m., we're going to have some ribbon cutting ceremonies. Everyone is invited to attend.
Saturday.
What did I say?
You said Friday.
Friday, I'm sorry.
What time Saturday?
You're getting punchy, Ken.
Sorry.
10 a.m.
Starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Yes.
They moved the mic over, I'm all discombobulated tonight. The next thing we have, Sunday, September 14th, will be the Suffern Street Fair between 10 and 5 on Lafayette Avenue. On Saturday, September 27th, we have a huge event, Suffern Day. It will be from 11 to 3 p.m. at the Suffern Ball Fields. And that evening at 7 p.m., we'll have music by No Exit and fireworks when it gets dark that evening. So that's Saturday, September 27th. We have the Broadway show Aladdin. That will be Sunday, November 9th. It's a 3 p.m. show. Tickets are now on sale, so anyone interested, please call Recreation. Tickets are $95. A question came up the other night about at the workshop. We're leaving Village Hall at noon that day for the 3 o'clock show. New York Rising meeting will be on Thursday, September 18th at the Community Center. And then New York Rising meetings will also be on the 2nd and the 4th Thursday of each month from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Community Center. There will be a coin drive on October 4th from the American Legion out here in front of Village Hall by the monument. A few save the dates. We have the Village Window Painting Contest for grades 6, 7th, and 8th on Saturday, October 18th. This is when the middle school-aged children come down to the village and decorate the stores for Halloween. We have then the Halloween Parade on Sunday, October 26th. We have the parade and tree lighting Thursday, December 4th. And then Pearl Harbor will have Sunday, December 7th. I think that's it.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Grant writer, no.
Grant writer, Fred was unable to be with us tonight. He did give his report at the workshop. Just to give you a quick update, we were awarded another $100,000 by the Rockland County Office of Community Development for our facade program. To date, we have been awarded $457,000 in grant money for the facade program, so we're doing quite well. Joe Corrigan, along with Fred and Corinne. It's getting late. have done a phenomenal job on getting the building owners on board with the facade program. We've had really great success with it, so I thank them all for their hard work. Fred is working on the Arbor Day Foundation and the New York State DEC to renew our Tree City USA designation. You must renew that every year, and the village is required to spend $2 per village resident on a tree activity, or having a tree advisory board, having an Arbor Day celebration, and having a village proclamation. We did all of this last year. It was a great success. We had the Girl Scouts involved in the Arbor Day celebration, and they really had a great time and got a lot out of it. So a very positive program for the village. Recently, Assemblywoman Ellen Jaffe secured $2,000 earlier this year for the Clifford Theater program, and she was also just recently able to secure another $3,000 through a member item for the Clifford Theater program, for a total of $5,000 for the Clifford Theater program. So we thank Ellen very much, always working hard for Suffern and especially for our children. The Village of Suffern was awarded a grant in the amount of $65,000 for the replacement and modification of one of the water department wells. Specifically, the money will be used to replace a pump that is at its end of its useful life, raising the pump to prevent any more flooding damage, and doing electrical and piping modifications. So we thank Senator Carlucci for being very instrumental in getting us that grant. So we're very thankful for that. We're also, the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York is administering a grant of $100,000 towards a street sweeper for a street sweeper grant program. Took several months to acquire the funds, but we have now been able to capture those funds. Hazard mitigation grant application status, there's no movement yet on that. We're still waiting for the Governor's Storm Recovery Office evaluation on that. We have not received any answer on that to date. And that is our grant update. Next is our village attorney.
Right, thank you. I think we're not going to move forward with the item that's listed on the agenda tonight, since you're adjourning the public hearing. This was Mr. Macarino's item, but I think you'll hold that in abeyance. The other thing we spoke about at the workshop meeting, apropos of the taxis, I think the police department at some point is going to notify the taxis that come in from out of the village that are not licensed, that they need to be licensed, and in conjunction with that, the fee schedule for licensing hasn't been looked at in a number of years, so we talked about holding a public hearing at the October meeting to raise the taxi fees to additional $75 for new applicants and for the annual taxi license, and raising the per driver fee $25. So I think you need to set a hearing date for October 6th, at whatever time you think is appropriate.
7:50?
Sure.
Do I have a motion? 7:50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Do you want to do the presentation so maybe get away?
Yeah, you know what, we're gonna skip down to audience participation. It's getting late in the evening and I see some sleepy eyes. So let's, if there's anyone who would like to come up and speak, please come to the microphone. Microphone, state your name and address. I'm telling you, long day today.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Isabel Hagerty, 4 Parkside Drive, Suffern, New York. I'm here to talk about 2 things. One is Foxwood Pond, which I have lived across from in the last 52 years. And it is shrinking. It's getting smaller. It's getting narrow. It's getting shallower. And now there's grass growing, tall weeded grass is growing up where there used to be water, and now it's gone, and this high grass is growing up, and it doesn't look very nice. And I just was wondering if there's anything at all can be done about it. Now, I know the DEC at one time said that they didn't like to see dredging because of the fish and the turtles. Well, very shortly, there's not going to be any more fish or there's not going to be any turtles. And it's going to be Foxwood Water Hole, or it's going to be the Foxwood Wetlands. So I would really like to see something done about it. It's because it's a beautiful little pond.
It is.
And it's a beautiful area.
And it's utilized so with the fishing derby, it's really a...
Yeah, well, all of that stuff is going to be going very shortly because it's getting shallower and shallower and smaller. It's shrinking.
Thank you, Isabel.
I don't know what can be done about it.
Charles?
I don't know. The next thing, and I do see it's on the agenda, John Meehan is going to talk about conserve.
Yeah.
That looks like H-E-double-L.
I knew you were
And
going to do
it's
that.
been going on for many years, and those builders have been getting away with murder.
Jack, do you
And
want
it
to...
looks terrible.
Do you want to address it now, since you brought it up?
Yeah, basically what I'm going to be asking the board to do is suggest to the building department that they issue a violation. Now, I made a personal complaint to the building department in June.
Jack, your microphone.
Oh, yeah. I made a complaint about that in, I think, June of 2013. And nothing has been done to the building department. And so I'm bringing this up publicly because what happens is you have somebody, and the mayor's been involved and has tried to jawbone them, but after a while, you hear manana, and that he got a foundation permit, and that he's got a demolition permit, and on and on.
He doesn't have a demolition permit, Jack.
What?
I checked with the building, I guess you didn't talk to the building department. I actually got an update. They do not have a demolition permit as of yet. There was a tank that was on the property that they had to have investigated and looked into, and long story short, this has been going on for 7 years about this tank. Finally, I'm told by Sue Forcello that they finally have the clearance on this tank and that they can move forward. So Sue's waiting for the paperwork. She was in touch with the county. County said they sent the paperwork over. As soon as Sue receives the paperwork, they're issuing the demolition permit. But I do believe that, a letter should be accompanying the demolition
I'm
permit.
still asking them to issue a violation.
That's, I'm just giving you the latest update on that property. Also, the Wayne Avenue property, thank you very much for your keen eye. We had the residents over there who saw some work going on there, and in their infinite wisdom called the village to make sure that everything was being done. Jean, thank you. And indeed, at first, it looked like there was no permits of what they were doing, was they were removing the asbestos from the property. And initially, we believed that there was no permits. We later found out through an investigation that they did have the permits through the county, so everything was done in accordance with the county, and the permits, were done. So, yeah, it has started some work over at Wayne Avenue. I know that, as far as I know, the only thing that's being done at this point in time is the removal of the asbestos. And that's the latest update. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So, okay.
If I might suggest in that letter, if they do not commence demolition in 30 days, that they will be fined at $2,500 a day for every day they don't start, like they should have been for the last 7 years. And that also should go for 166 Wayne. They push these zone changes through like lightning. And here we are 7 years later, begging them to start.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, would anybody else like to speak? No. Okay, so let's move along. Oh, Jean, come on up.
Jean, 135 Wayne Avenue. I understand that one of the grants that you were trying to get money for is for the emergency access to the West Ward.
Yes.
And is there a time limit on this grant? Because we've been talking about getting emergency access over there for a long, long time. And that's not,
I'm glad that...
free money is great, but...
Yes, I'm glad that you brought that up because I feel the same way. We have a meeting actually tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with Assemblywoman Ellen Jaffe, myself, the fire chief, and several others to discuss and submit the plans that we have and the cost factor involved in the emergency access. Ellen has just been given some money finally, and she's looking to do good things here in the village. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we will be having a meeting.
Because that
with
should be a
regards to that.
priority, and all this other
And you know what,
stuff.
Jean, it's so funny that you say that, because to me, we've submitted for so many grants and we've gotten money. We got the facade money, we've gotten, we've gotten some money for our different sewer and water plants, and everybody has overlooked what I think is the most important issue, the most important grant that we've actually applied for. Not one person has hit on it except for Ellen.
Good.
And she'll be
Thank
here
you.
tomorrow morning. Thank you. I know, but if she can find us the money for it.
everybody, I just want to make
Yeah, no, I knew that. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, moving along, Department of Public Works. Charles.
Good evening, Mayor and the Board.
We're meeting tomorrow morning.
I am requesting payment authorization for application of payment number 3 in the amount of $35,929, and for application for payment number 4 in the amount of $183,326.25 to Northeast Remsco Construction for the wastewater treatment plant digester upgrade project, general construction portion. The total amount paid to the contractor, including payments, is $472,591.75. The contract amount is $1,089,000.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yeah.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
I am requesting payment authorization for application of payment number 3 in the amount of $25,121.28 to Bella Vista Construction Corp. for the roadway improvements phase number 6 project.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
I am requesting payment authorization for application of payment number 3 in the amount of $10,200 to Fanshawe Inc. for the electrical portion of the dewatering upgrade project.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
I am requesting payment authorization for application of payment number 1 in the amount of $34,225.93 to HVS LLC for the electrical portion of the wastewater treatment digester upgrade project.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
I am requesting authorization to accept a professional service proposal for third-party monitoring of the wastewater treatment plant primary digester cover lead-based paint stabilization. This proposal is from Quest Inc., Wappinger Falls, New York, in the amount of $7,160. This cost will be charged to the wastewater treatment plant capital fund account.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
A request for a proposal was sent to 3 engineering firms for Phase 1 sanitary sewer abatement design and was discussed during the workshop. In order to maintain continuity with the DEC, I'm recommending approval of Byrne and Gear's professional service proposal in the amount of $80,428. This design project will include the sanitary sewer replacement on James Street, approximately 916 linear feet, and the installation of cast-in-place pipe liner on Lafayette Avenue, Hillcrest Road, Sunset Drive, Forest Road, Oakdale Manor, and Utopian Avenue, approximately 4,130 linear feet. This cost will be charged to the wastewater treatment plant capital fund account.
Excuse, on your suggestion there, we also, didn't we have a lower bid from?
The lower bid was from Brooker Engineering.
These guys were handing
Yeah, I know. I think, we have a local company who's a very capable engineering firm, and I would like to see them get that project.
I agree. There was a lower bid, and this bid is 15,000 more than he started with.
No,
It was
65, he had.
Yeah, originally was a lower amount, but did not include some items, and one, for example, is field inspections. So there's additional
the difference was
tasks
$1,200, was it not?
No,
I'm sorry?
3,000.
What was the
No,
difference?
it was 77,500.
Yeah, difference in dollars is $2,728.
Okay.
Yeah. Charles came to my office, and the thought process for him was the fact that O'Brien and Gear have been working with him on these projects all along. So because there was such little difference in the two proposals, that he felt as though, for continuity purposes and the fact that they were familiar with the projects and had been working on them, and Brooker had not been part of this ongoing project, that he would suggest that we used O'Brien and Gear for continuity purposes. So that was his thought process behind it, but it's at the board's pleasure. And the difference was $1,400,
No, $2,728.
$2,728 difference.
No, I'd rather see Brooker.
My feeling is $2,700, after a while, it's real money, so I have confidence in Brian Brooker.
I have no problem either way, I mean, I'm just
I'm just explaining what your reasoning was behind it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the reasoning too.
Right.
But I would make a motion to award the bid to Brooker Engineering.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hagen,
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Byrne,
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Got your name for a minute.
That's all right.
And I vote yes, motion's carried.
Okay. I am requesting the mayor to appoint Mr. Elkin Estebar of Coburn, New York, to the vacant laborer's position at the street department. Mr. Escobar will start on September 22nd, 2014.
You have 2015
I have a
on
typo
yours.
there,
Not
it's
bad.
15. Okay.
I'm like, wow, that year went by.
He's going to be on unemployed for a
With
year.
a rate of pay of $15.95.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm appointing. I need a motion to confirm.
A motion to confirm.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hagen.
It's not
We don't need a
2015,
roll call,
it's this
right?
year,
It's my
right?
appointment.
Okay, yes.
I did.
You don't need any.
A motion to confirm. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
I am requesting a bond resolution,
Bond, board, bond.
I am requesting a
Weird.
board resolution to require, as required by the state of New York, DOT, for the 2014-2015 municipal snow and ice agreement extension.
Yes. Motion? Motion.
Motion, second.
I'll read the resolution.
If you'd like.
Okay. Offered the following resolution. Well, Virginia's told me I had to.
Oh, no,
Messing with
This is
Virginia.
not that resolution.
That's not,
I thought it was.
resolution.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
you're on bond. It's getting too late.
I am so
Mr.
sorry.
Hagen.
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan.
Yes.
Byrne, yes.
You're getting bad.
Byrne, yes. Me, yes.
Me and yes. Abato, yes. Motion carried.
Trying to save you some words.
Thank you. Okay, moving along. Thank you very much, Charles. Okay. Village Clerk.
Okay, we have a lot of public hearings, special meetings.
Oh, this is where I did the bond resolution.
Not yet, not yet.
Not
Get your
yet.
minutes first.
I'm ready.
The first special meeting was March 31st, 2014.
Motion to approve.
Second.
No.
All in favor?
Yes.
Who seconded?
Matt and Joe.
Joe, okay. All right, the special board meeting of April the 16th, 2014.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Special board meeting of May the 15th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Did we skip May 12th? I know there was a meeting May 12th.
Wasn't in there, it's not in there.
She may not have it done. That was a regular meeting. These are all special board meetings. I think we did that one already.
Right, we
Yeah.
did all the regular board meetings,
Okay.
not the specials.
Thank you.
A special board meeting of May 22nd.
So moved.
I can't vote, I wasn't.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. You get an
With
abstention.
Mr. Hagen abstaining, he wasn't present.
We have a special board meeting of June 9th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I can't vote, wasn't here.
You're
Okay.
never here.
Oh, gosh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Hagen? You're abstaining?
can't vote, yeah.
Right, I just have to put it on record.
Oh, okay.
Motion is carried.
Okay, we have approval of the regular board meeting of June the 3rd, 2014.
So
I can
moved.
vote on that.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, we have a request for, hold on, one moment, please.
Block
For a
party.
block party, which I'm sure you'll invite me if you want to go. And that block party is Saturday, September the 13th, the hours between 1 and 4 p.m. And they do have a rain date of September the 14th. And it's going to be on Parkside Drive between Doxbury Lane and Salem Court.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Okay, we have some
Treasurer, the other way.
important business that your treasurer, your deputy treasurer, Mr. Gentile.
Janita.
First one, the first one is for, hold on 1 second, please. Is for a bond resolution amending the $500,000 for various purposes. We do need a motion to adopt the resolution,
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Joe, and then we need a...
Any second?
Second.
Second,
Mr. Hagen?
yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
And just clarifying, I think it's amending $500,600, right?
Yes.
That's the
Yes,
total amount.
correct.
Now we need a motion to advertise.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Passed all of that.
The next bond resolution is for the amount of $1,100,000 for the sewer system.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Hagen?
yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
A motion to advertise.
So moved.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
The next is amending the bond resolution for $100,000 for the improvement to the village-owned properties.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
I vote yes, motion is carried.
Permission to advertise, authorization.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? So moved.
We have one more, amending 132,000 serial bonds for various purposes.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
That's it.
Okay, you're done? Okay, Finance Department.
Barbara.
We have a new face at the podium. So Barbara's here for Mike Janito tonight. Mike was at the workshop but was unable to make it this evening. Barbara has come in his place.
Yeah. We're making two requests. The first is to amend the fiscal year 2013-2014 budget by transferring $25,606.66 from the general fund medical insurance to the general fund transfer to capital projects fund for the Donna Hallett Park project.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
Okay, the second is to amend the 2014-2015 adopted budget by transferring $15,000 from the account A9950.9, transfer to capital projects, to account A1990.4, contingent account, and transferring $15,000 from account F9950.9, transfer to capital projects fund, to account F1990.4, contingent account.
And was that the question about the insurance agreement?
No, the insurance money was found. It was not a discrepancy at all. It was just in water and sewer fund where it shouldn't have been, but the money was found and it's being taken care of.
Okay. Motion.
Second.
Before we go any further, Mayor,
We need to,
no,
vote on this.
the first one that she just requested has to be a resolution. It's a
We did the resolution.
sir. What?
We did the resolution.
You didn't say resolution. You
Yes.
said- I didn't hear you
Both of
say
those
res-
you have
I'm
resolutions.
sorry.
Right. Yes, it was a resolution, and now we are going doing the second resolution.
Oh, okay.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Good job.
They're not always this long.
Okay, Jack, you've done your conserve, you're okay with that?
Well, you know, I want to vote in resolution, and the motion is that the village board suggests to the building department that the Conserve Corporation, in our judgments, in violation of law, and that a violation should be issued. And I so move.
Well, Jack, I think what you want to do is you want to ask them to take a look at it
Right.
and make a determination, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
But we
That's
don't need a
fine.
motion for that, Jack, we just need to do that.
I'd like to put it in the form of a motion.
Okay,
That's fine.
that's fine. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
So moved. Okay.
And just to clarify, it's a resolution to request the
motion.
building department
It's a-
to
it's a
investigate, a
motion.
motion requesting them to investigate the property.
Correct.
To determine if there are any violations.
Exactly.
Yes.
That need to be dealt with.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
As to both properties?
15 Washington Avenue.
And Wayne,
Right.
that was my, both properties. Yeah.
166 Wayne's.
Okay, you good, Jack?
I'm good.
Okay. Under the mayor, I'd like to appoint Recreation Information Clerk Nancy Christopher to the position. She currently has been holding that position. There was no list and no test offered up until quite recently. Nancy took the test and passed it, so we were, instead of her being temporary, she now will be permanent, appointed to the Recreation Information Clerk.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Confirming that.
Yeah, they confirmed. We need to appoint a contact person for the RBC Wealth Management. I would like to appoint Deputy Treasurer Michael Janito as that contact person.
So moved.
Second.
Is that person normally the treasurer?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
typically, yes. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Virginia, did you ever do my proclamation?
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, but I'm going to make it into a big one. so
Okay, excellent.
A real pretty one.
October is anti-bullying month, awareness month, and I'd like to do a proclamation. Whereas we must safeguard schools and communities for our children, and through our recognition of the serious issues that face them each day, offer our children an environment that holds promise and security. And whereas many organizations, school districts, educators, and parents have publicly expressed concern about bullying of their children, and whereas each day as an estimated 160,000 children refuse to go to school because they dread their physical and verbal aggression of their peers and the loneliness that comes from being excluded and made targets of rumors and cyberbullying, many more students attend school in chronic state of anxiety. And whereas it is important that we acknowledge the heightened awareness about the serious issues and the negative effects of bullying, including long-term damage it can cause to our youth, as well as the risks of teenage suicide. And whereas providing a safe physical and emotional environment is a significant goal, a personal responsibility of each individual, and whereas it is time to stand up for character and down to bullying, now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Patricia Abato, Mayor of the Village of Suffern, do hereby designate the month of October 2014 as Anti-Bullying Awareness Month in the Village of Suffern as a symbol of our commitment to the year-round struggle against bullying. I also have a few students that would like to come in at the October meeting and share some of their experiences with our residents. I think it's very important that we all take a stand against bullying, and I'm proud to offer this proclamation in support of that. I would like to, we have had several inadequacies in our IT support and our website support, which I have been looking into. All of our department heads have expressed dissatisfaction with the present IT people. In looking at the contract, we're paying $1,000 a month for a website that has not been changed in 4 years and going on its 5th year. So in looking into, and I have been going through all of the contracts of the village, I spoke to all the department heads who work directly with our IT people, and they all said, can you please bring back Tech Spectrum, who was here working in the village for a few years. The department heads seem to be very happy. They are willing to keep our contract as it was when they left here 4 years ago. There will be no raise in their fee, and they will also be taking care of our website. So we are not only saving money, but we have a company back that both the police department and all the department heads here in the village, including the court, were very happy to come back. So taking into consideration all of their positive comments about Tech Spectrum, I would like to end our contract with Advantech, and I guess I would have to do that first. We need to give them a 30-day notice as per the contract, so I need a motion for that.
So moved.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And then I would need a motion to bring back Tech Spectrum.
You gotta cancel the web designer too, right?
Yeah, you don't have his name on here, though. We'd also have to cancel the web designer. Yeah, we also have to cancel the web designer. Do you have the name of the company?
Yeah, designs by Davo.
Okay. I'd need,
So moved.
Second.
okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. And now I need a motion to bring back Tech Spectrum.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
Yes.
That would also authorize me to sign a contract with them.
Correct.
Okay. Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried.
Just to clarify, there won't be any downtime on our website, there will be no interruption.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. No, and they also will bring us up to date. We have a lot of computers here that are still, have XP on them, which Microsoft is not supporting. We have a lot of issues here in the village that just in a short time that they were here visiting to look at what was going on, identified several technical issues that need immediate response to. And although they're not going to be starting with us until October, as we have to give the other company 30 days notice, they have agreed, if the board did agree to hire them back, to come in immediately to rectify the problems that we have. So they will be in to meet all of you. I'd like to, we heard back from the Department of Personnel, and they have approved the position for the office services aide position that Laura, from the front office, we had talked about. So we need to establish that position. We cannot appoint her this evening, because we had to advertise, the position for,
We have to post it.
we posted the position, correct? So, we have to wait until that time expires. To date, we've had no one apply for the position, so, but we do have to wait until, we could appoint her. So I need a motion to establish the office services aide position.
So moved. Second,
Okay, Mr. Hagen?
yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion is carried. As Kathy touched upon, we are going to have, I'm very excited, we have 4 new businesses in the downtown area. We will be having a ribbon cutting ceremony on September 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I hope that as many of our residents will attend. It's nice to have new businesses coming in. We talked about storefronts being empty, and here we are with Mia's Kitchen, which has been a great, a great addition to our downtown. We have another hair salon. We also have Suffern Pharmacy that opened in the downtown area, and we also have the florist that opened up. So we will be having ribbon cutting ceremonies for all of them, as we have not done that since they have come into the downtown area, and I think it's important for us to welcome our new businesses, so that will take place. There's one more item that we omitted from the, purely by mistake. As you all know, Tom Zordan has left us, and we have taken on Mike Janito. Mike will be working with us part-time. It's the board's contention that we feel as though that the treasurer's position is not truly a full-time position. We could make it a part-time position with our deputy treasurer, and we could save a lot of money. However, Barbara Cotiers, who is going to be our full-time deputy treasurer, is taking on far more responsibility than she has ever taken on before. She has stepped up to the plate and spends many more hours doing work that she was never required to do before, and has become a great asset to the village in taking on these roles so quickly as she had to do. Therefore, I spoke to the board about adjusting Barbara's salary, and I would like to suggest that we give Barbara a $5,000 raise, as she will be taking on the role of our full-time in-house watching over the store, and that is not something, she's really got a lot more work on her plate, and has done a phenomenal job, I might add.
I saw one.
So moved,
Second.
Mr. Hagen?
yes.
Mrs. Corrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
With pleasure, yes.
And I vote yes. Barbara, thank you. I can't, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for all the hard work you've given me.
I gotta say that, I'm kidding around with you by hesitating to vote there, but Barbara's a great asset to this village.
She is.
And I only know because many times my office has had to call her last minute for some water readings and she's always accommodating, always very helpful, so with pleasure.
And that'll be effective immediately, Barb.
Congratulations, Bob.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Don't say it all.
And I second.
Good night,